What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing? If you guys are brand new here to the channel, you guys don't know what we do, no worry, I'm gonna break it down for you guys, man. We'll talk about the most sketch and creepiest videos on the net, on the web, from YouTube videos to TikTok videos, IG reels, Facebook, anything weird, usual, and unexplained you can find right here on this channel. I just want to thank all my supporters, man, who's coming back to the channel each and every single day, watching the videos entirely, man, commenting down below, but most importantly, hitting that thumbs up button on each and every single video I drop. You guys are helping growing the community. I greatly appreciate the support. Found this video for you guys today, man. Let's do the best seekers. Stay with me, y'all. Seek the truth.
Oh, you found it?
Weird. Spawned out of nowhere.
I don't know.
Interesting. Oh yeah, she on something.
She woke up at 4 a.m. when a random woman walked up to her door and started looking through her windows. But what this woman did next was completely unexplainable. She shook her head in this strange way and then stared deeply into the camera. The lady who shared this video mentioned that she was home alone and got seriously scared, as she has never seen anything like this before and didn't know what to do. She received a toy bear with last voice message of her dad, who passed away a few months earlier, and after playing it, something terrifying happened. Her dad was a retired firefighter.
That is not work.
She was going through her little sister's recording on a toy camera, and the footage seemed normal at first, when out of nowhere she started staring at something, and it didn't end well. She looked up at something with enormous height and fortunately forgot about recording and left the camera on while running out of the room, because about 70 seconds after she left, the toy captured something that left her sister seeking for any logical explanation.
So we're like, what did she see, right?
And there it is. Like,
She
4K.
noticed this doll while visiting her grandpa, and it allegedly moved right before she started recording, but she knew that no one would believe her, so she decided to bait the doll to move again on camera. She turned around and recorded the mirror. Pay attention to the doll's right hand.
Toy Stories.
It started off as a cute snap, but ended scary. Her son saw something inside the other room.
What'd you see? What? What do you see? Who are you saying hi to? Who are you saying hi to? Dude, you need to stop that.
Okay. Some weird things. Elite harder. Man, no one's around. Get off the roof. Elmos were coming after you. What the hell? Pop it. Pop the balloon challenge, man.
Never ever.
I don't know what was going on with that Elmo doll. Like, I've seen instances, you know, where balloon floats and where it just starts floating, but it floated all the way upstairs, man. Like it had actual movement, like it was coordinated. I don't know if that was an edit of that, man, or if that was just a spooky coincidence, but no. Pop that balloon.
Go to this man's island. In 1939, a group of 3 men filming a documentary about an island called South Sentinel Island set sail for filming. After 3 hours of sailing, they were finally half a mile away from the shore of the island. They could see people off in the distance on the island staring at them, but that's not what first caught their attention. It was the giant man inhabiting the island with them. When they zoomed in with the camera on his face, he looked very upset. While the crew was discussing what they wanted to do next, they couldn't help but hear a sound whizzing through the air. Before they could even react, one of the men was struck by a wooden spear and knocked off the boat into the water. With only 2 men remaining alive, they decided to give the tribe a peace offering. With one man filming, the other man swam ashore with a banjo to give to the tribe's leader as a gift. After reaching the shore, he handed the giant man the banjo. But after a few seconds, the giant bashed the banjo on the man's head, knocking him out. The tribe surrounded the man and took him into a wooded area on the island. The man filming decided to keep recording as it grew darker outside. He could see a fire off in the distance, so he pulled out his binoculars to see what was going on. What the man saw ended up putting him into a psych ward for the rest of his life.
I think we know what happened. Just sitting there.
Greetings and salutations. I bestow blessings upon thee. All shall be revealed.
No. Who wanted some wine?
But like that wasn't my best friend that night. It was the devil.
Time to hunt some skinwalkers, alright?
Summoning him?
You hear that? Dude, that's fucking him, bro. That's a skinwalker, dude.
Uh-huh. What was on this TV? And it just turned all white? Was that a smile? Oh, he's stoned in.
Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! No! No, no, no! No, no, no! Come on!
It was a dream?
I can see you.
No escape. You got those hands then. No option. call that hitting the jets. I would turn into the Flash. Simple.
Sardine, Jack Crevel. Holy smokes.
Woo. What is that? Are those like whales or sharks? What the f— all those crabs.
Bam! We catch ourselves a baby hammerhead. Look at him. He's so cool. Yeah.
What? Shadow Beam. Knock up from the camera. She looking like
Frickin' thing, it's staring at me. It followed me home from the gifting rock. It's about 1 o'clock in the morning right now. I think I'm gonna...
oh, that looked like some animal. The eyes were lit up. Woo! In his hands. Don't go down those stairs. She. Open sky, a man standing in the doorway. That ain't the way to wake up.
So for today's drink,
What the f— is he like sleepwalking? Had to be. She look like a smooth demon, bro. She just made it. Barely.
Oh my gosh. There's evil. There's evil.
What the heck?
Get in the car. Get in the car. Open the door. Get in. Come on, guys. Get in the other side. Other side. Come on. Come on.
Please, yes. I need your phone. I gotta come in.
Right, get it.
Storm?
Look at me. I gotta look where you're bleeding, okay? Look at me, like.
Yeah, do you know what the nearest hospital is? Hey, let me get that done. Listen up. Come on, Bill. Hey, get it, buddy.
Come on.
Get it. I got a storm chaser here. I got. Okay, man. Get it, man. I gotta get her.
Oh, man.
Just make it straight. I got injured people in my car right now.
Go.
There's a tornado here. Where are you at, guys? Hodges, Texas. Okay, can you? What kind of injuries you want?
Teenage children with head injuries.
Okay. We got no children here with head injuries. Broken hand. Okay.
Freddie drove as fast as he could to the hospital, where they received the medical help they urgently needed. Who would have believed that anyone could survive such a tragedy? Yet, miraculously, this family pulled through.
Man, that was really intense, bro. That freaking... It's like that movie, you know, that came out, I think this year, last year, like, how they be chasing storms, and they said if a tornado looks like it's just standing still, it's really, like, coming right for you, man. So, storm chasers, sounds like a diabolical job, bro. Chasing storms, that ain't for me. Or tornadoes, yeah. Woo. That family's lucky, man, that they caught him. So I moved, dump that food.
On January 28, 2017, at a zoo in Eastern China, a middle-aged man hopped the wall to avoid paying for a ticket. What he didn't realize was that he had just jumped straight into a tiger's enclosure. Guys, it was around 2 p.m. and the zoo was packed. There was families, kids, tourists, and hundreds of people enjoying their day. Then suddenly, screaming can be heard. Visitors rushed towards the tiger's exhibit, and when they saw what was happening, they pulled out their phones and started recording. In one video, the camera zooms in, and when the camera focuses, you can see it. A full-grown tiger with his jaws locked around the man's neck. His body twitches violently as the animal's teeth sink deeper. He tries to fight back, but the tiger doesn't let go. Instead, it bites down harder. Blood can then be seen pouring down the man's throat. Then, something even worse. 2 other tigers are there, but they're not attacking. They're just watching. They circle him slowly, waiting for him to bleed out before they start ripping him apart. And guys, somehow he's still alive. With one last desperate effort, he tries to crawl away. And that was a big mistake. The tiger slams his massive paws onto his back, crushing him into the ground. The crowd is shocked, there's children crying, and parents screaming for someone to do something. Then, bang! Explosive fireworks go off. 2 of the tigers scatter, but the first one, it doesn't even flinch. Guys, it just keeps biting. More gunshots, more fireworks, and finally, it lets go. The man stumbles to his feet, blood-soaked, barely conscious. He staggers forward, trying to escape, But before he can take another step, the tiger lunges again. It clamps its jaws around his throat and trashes him violently like a ragdoll. And guys, for 20 more seconds, the tiger absolutely destroys him. Until finally, a single gunshot. The tiger was shot and it dropped dead. The man was rushed to the hospital, but he ended up passing away. And guys, here's the worst part. His wife and kids were standing there. They saw everything. If you guys want to hear more morbid true crime stories like this, then like and follow Brad. Because let's be real, who else is telling stories like this?
It's terrifying. What is she doing? He survived. You hear it. She has no idea. Man, you got... That ain't for me. At least we're getting back to back, man. She's still out there. Bro, throw hands, man. You can't be scared after that point.
And would use each one as a separate dungeon, going out into the streets, getting people, bringing them back and doing things that I cannot speak about here, but full videos on my YouTube, go to the link in my bio. Underneath the home, he built a soundproof chamber so no one would hear a damn word, and went on to take many, many people, putting them under the ground and undergoing the most horrendous things ever. Eventually he was caught for doing R and other things to over 5 young people, and he went to jail and got released within 3 years, and going back to do more, but this time, not leave anyone alive. No mother even called the police and said what he was doing. They didn't really do anything. Eventually going round while 2 people were in the basement, and they left. I can't talk about most of it on here, but go to my YouTube link in bio for the full thing.
Facts that will mess
Crazy
with your
story.
perception of time. Sharks are older than the rings of Saturn by hundreds of millions of years. If you were given $10,000 every single day since the pyramids were built, you would only have about 6% of Elon Musk's entire wealth. To give a clear picture of the difference between a million and a million seconds ago was a little over a week ago. A billion seconds ago was the year 1990. Jimmy Carter was the first president to be born in a hospital. Obama was the first president born under the same American flag he served as president under. Harriet Tubman was born in Thomas Jefferson's lifetime and died in Reagan's. There were Greek playwrights who wrote shows nearly 2,000 years before Shakespeare was even alive. Follow for more.
Well, Shakespeare was copy or something?
First, there's a lot about the type of person that you are. First of all, take a look at this photo right here. If you first of all notice 3 flying birds, that means you're a very adventurous person and are constantly looking for the next big thing. You're very motivated to following your hopes and dreams at any cost. If first of all you notice the face of a woman, this means you crave companionship and love being around people, and also potentially want to actually establish a relationship with someone pretty close to you right now. If you saw the trees first, that means you're a very relaxed and laid back person and you just go with the flow. Next up, take a look at this photo right here. If you saw the trees first, you trust your gut and always follow your own intuition. Not a very trusting person and will always go off what's best for yourself. However, if you saw the tiger first, you're a very open-minded person, but very, very strong-minded as well. Once you set your mind to something, no one's telling you otherwise. This photo right here. You saw the trees first, you could potentially be a little bit narrow-minded. You like being comfortable in one area, which isn't a bad thing, and are just comfortable in one position with your group of people. However, if you saw the skyscrapers, you like to think big, follow your dreams, and like to be completely outside of your comfort zone at all times.
Where'd you guys see Seekers on those pictures, man? I definitely saw the tiger, I saw the trees, and I saw the 3 birds lining up perfectly, so I guess I have some of those streets. You guys see anything else, man? Because I know everybody's not going to see the same thing. That's an edit. Call out how we see it, man.
Tastiophobia. Thalassophobia.
I'm okay. Guess that's the fear of water, right? Deep, dark water. I don't think that affects me very much. I'm cool. Damn. I'll make it in there, Ziggies. Like I said, the fear of water, I don't.
Gruesome facts you didn't know, part 156. This photo, taken by a PetSmart employee in Arizona, shows a freezer overflowing with the bodies of dead animals due to understaffing. Another employee reported that cutting corners has led to hamsters eating their young after giving birth. As a last-ditch effort defense mechanism, the horned lizard can actually shoot blood from its eyes. After the Battle of Waterloo in 1815, looters, scavengers, and even surviving soldiers were taking teeth out of dead soldiers left on the battlefield. They would sort them into sets and then sell them to dentists who would boil them, cut off the roots, and shape them into dentures.
That's insane, bro. Using dead people's teeth as dentures.
Random facts about Australia because I just love y'all that much. The word selfie came from Australia. It was first used by Aussie man Nathan Hope when he posted a picture after he busted his ass while drinking. There's more kangaroos than people. Since kangaroos are the white-tailed deer of down under, it's common to eat kangaroo meat. I've actually had a kangaroo burger, and it was not bad. Y'all are home to the most venomous snake, fish, octopus, spider, which I didn't even bother putting here, one of the few venomous mammals, and the most dangerous bird in the world. That doesn't compare to the most venomous thing of all. Because the most venomous things in the world, the box jellyfish and the irukandji, are from Australia. Somehow, with all the dangerous animals in Australia, the one responsible for the most names on Twitter bios, horses and cows. Y'all are so afraid of spiders and snakes, but a horse is more likely to kick your lights out. But it's not all bad. Y'all do have the happiest animal in the world, the quokka. Fun fact, really happy fact actually, they're not endangered. They're vulnerable, so they're not 100% safe, but they're definitely not going extinct. Which is great because Rottnest gets about $4 million in tourism every year, and the quokka selfie is a big reason why. Australia also has the longest fence in the world at 3,488 miles. Supposed to keep rabbits out, but I guess they forgot rabbits can dig.
I've seen my fair share of cults, and this one
Crazy
is pretty
facts.
weird. This cult calls themselves the Cult of Mother God, and it's run by this woman here, Amy Carlson. She calls herself Mother God, creator of the universe, and she pretty much believed that she was being controlled by the spirit of Robin Williams himself, And not only him, but she could also channel information from other celebrities who weren't alive and even were alive, Donald Trump. But yeah, like Steve Irwin, Carrie Fisher, MJ. With everything in her, she believed that all this advice she was giving people was coming from Robin Williams himself. Her parents claimed she was a straight-A student, and sometime between 2000 and 2007, she meets a man named White Eagle as she was frequenting a website called lightworkers.org. She's pretty much convinced she's a divine being by this man, and she leaves her husband, her job, and kids, moves to Colorado with this cult. They'd start posting in 2009 and would call themselves the Galactic Foundation of the Light. Amy's health starts declining very badly to where she starts losing weight. She's down to 103 pounds. And this cult believes that Robin Williams is going to come down in a spaceship and pick her up. She can't weigh over 103, and she's going to ascend. Her health continues to decline, and Robin Williamson is nowhere to be found. He doesn't show up in his spaceship. So this group spends about 12 days with her body. I forgot to mention, but she was last seen alive on April 10th of 2021. But yeah, police would eventually break in and find Amy's body, her face covered in glitter, body in a sleeping bag, wrapped in Christmas lights. Kind of like a shrine, they called it.
Man, cults are dangerous, bro. Especially when you meet somebody, man, it just changes your freaking perception of reality.
Most terrifying urban legends from around the world. In 1978, a girl named Catherine went missing after she heard strange noises coming from the woods behind her backyard. Her sister said Catherine heard the voice of their mother calling to her, but something about this voice sounded distorted and wrong. That was one of the first sightings of Siren Head, a tall humanoid creature with unusually long limbs and 2 siren speakers attached to its head with human mouths inside. This allows the Siren Head to play the voices of its victims' families to lure them in. This creature is usually found in rural places and small towns, making it easier to blend into the environment and disguise itself between the trees or as a telephone pole. So remember, next time you hear the voice of a family member coming from an unusual place, don't go investigating. And follow for more stories.
Siren Head, man. That's the first time I'm hearing the lore about that, so I guess we're out at night, especially when she's saying in rural towns or something like that, areas you don't know. If you hear somebody call your name, family member, you never know. Something is trying to play a trick on your mind, man. Trying to lure you out there.
Psychology facts. 91% of people are no longer friends with someone they called their best friend. The person you think before you go to sleep is more likely to appear in your dreams. Unexpected texts from the person you care about can have a positive effect on your body and instantly improve your week.
Really? That makes sense.
These freak-offs, which involved groups of people performing sexual activities with each other, reportedly started in 2009. These parties were described as multi-day events involving heavy drug use, alcohol, and allegedly Diddy used force, threats, and coercion to make victims participate in these events. These substances that were used at these freak-offs were there to keep participants compliant, and basically it got people so intoxicated that they were sometimes taken advantage of. These freak-offs were held in rented hotel rooms and mansions in New York, LA, and Miami. But this is the thing, Diddy was so known and popular back in the early 2000s that everyone you can possibly think of was at his parties that he hosted. There's photos of A-list celebrities such as Kim Kardashian, Khloe Kardashian, and J-Lo, Leonardo DiCaprio, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Mariah Carey, Ashton Kutcher, Paris Hilton, and the list goes on. Now, were they all necessarily involved in these freak-offs? Not everyone. But it's been said that many of them were participating in these activities and some of them weren't but knew about it. And if they were involved in this back in the day, they don't want people to know now. And after all of this was released to the public, these celebrities have been really quiet and no one wants to speak on it at all.
Now if you want to hear
man, those Diddy freak-offs, man, I know that list, probably A-list celebrities. Freaking, not just celebrities, sports players too, NBA players, NFLs. Because like I said, it was popular back in the 2000s. So everybody was at those parties, man. So we don't know who was doing what, man. Maybe some of them were, some of them wasn't. So that's just freaking insane, bro. Those Diddy freak-offs, man. When that whole lore or list gets revealed of who was doing what, some more people gonna be going down, man. I don't think it's just gonna be Diddy. What do you think?
scary
back in the day, but there was this infamous funhouse called Laugh in the Dark. Like any other kind of funhouse ride attraction that you would go through, it's supposed to scare you. And the whole thing about it was that it was filled with these creepy mannequins, but there was one mannequin that stuck out to everybody. All this time went by with kids who would go up to this mannequin and something seemed off about it because it was so oddly lifelike. Of course, strange mannequins aside, somebody was going to make a buck off this place. So there was a day when a film crew came in because they were going to shoot a movie. With all these mannequins and everything kind of lying around, they had to move things from one place to another. So the director said, can you pull that mannequin and put it to the side? Wait for the arm of the mannequin to snap off and reveal human bone. The entire time that kids and the public had been suspecting there was something off with that mannequin, they were right. It was a real human body being used in the funhouse.
This is a scary story about Do Not Open. There was an 18-year-old girl named Mia who was in her first year at college. She lived alone in an apartment near her university. One night when she was doing the dishes, she got a call from her friend Pete. She picked it up and he said, I'm bored, I want to hang out. Mia said, yeah, me too, come over. Pete then said he'll be over in 15 to 20 minutes. She then hung up and decided to take a shower. Mia was in the middle of shampooing her hair when she suddenly heard a loud banging on the door. She stuck her head out of the shower and said, come in, it's open. But a few minutes later, the banging on the door started again. She then stuck her head out of the shower again and said, come in, it's not locked. Just then, her phone started to ring, and it was Peter. Mia said, I'm in the shower, why don't you stop knocking and just come in? Peter's voice sounded extremely scared and he said, do not open the door. Mia said, why not? I'm outside your apartment building, whispered Peter. And I just saw a strange woman coming up the stairs to your apartment covered in blood and holding a knife. And she was smiling weirdly and didn't look human at all.
You never know, man, who's lurking. Had the right access to her apartment. His girlfriend, man, warning her, bro.
The same day this guy was released from jail, he went and killed and then decapitated his mother. His name is Alejandro Gonzalez, and this happened in Arizona. The police did arrest the 25-year-old after he killed and decapitated his mother right before her birthday. This happened on September 27th after somebody called 911. When the police got to the scene, they found her decapitated. Her name was Teresa de Jesus Cruz Rubio. She failed to show up to her surprise birthday party. Obviously, her family got really worried and they found her door locked. They had to call a locksmith to come and open it. It was unfortunate that they opened it and saw a horrible scene. Police found blood and knives everywhere, with the shower and sink still running as if somebody was trying to clean the evidence. Her vehicle was also missing, but surveillance camera footage caught her son driving it. Police found Alejandro Gonzalez the next day on September 28th and took him into custody for questioning. He was covered in blood and had bruises all over his hand. He was also in possession of his mother's stolen vehicle. He even admitted to decapitating and killing her as well. He also claimed someone else was involved, but there's no evidence that points to that right now. Let me know your thoughts about this case in the comment section below, guys.
If you're a kid, make sure you shower.
Insane.
This, my friends, is the Skunk Ape. Click the plus, drop a like, tag a friend, or he might find you. It is said that the Skunk Ape gets its name of its absolute disgusting odor, and its attraction to other very smelly odors. On top of that, its appearance resembling a massive ape. It is also said to be roaming around certain parts of Florida, so if you live there, I would definitely be careful. My question to you guys is, do you still not want to shower?
They made a freaking lore, bro, to get people to shower? That's
This
insane.
is one of the most haunted places I've ever been to, and I won't go in here alone. It's an old abandoned nursing home outside of Waco, Texas. And if you're wondering why it was shut down, it was because an elderly woman was left here in the parking lot in a locked van on a hot day, and she died. Abuse and other crimes against the elderly run rampant at nursing homes, and this place was no stranger to it. I went there for my YouTube channel a couple of years ago, and the video footage that I captured inside is shocking. I found a doll hanging by a noose. I heard the sounds of people inside the building and talking, and it looks like there's someone still there. Would you explore this place with me? Let me know below.
Nah, I stay away from that type of energy. You got it, bro. I don't know how those people do
Creepy
it.
facts you didn't know about. If your immune system ever discovers that you have eyeballs, it's going to attack them until you go blind. At some point in time, a stranger has thought of killing you. If you're ever exposed to rabies and start to show symptoms, your survival chance is virtually 0%. You should never use bleach to clean up cat pee. The combination creates chlorine gas that is toxic. You You are never 100% safe, no matter where you are or how you feel. If the sun exploded right now, you wouldn't know about it for another 8 minutes. There's a brain-eating amoeba that lives in lakes and rivers of the southern United States.
So because I'm back in like my Halloween thing right now, I was rewatching all of the Texas Chainsaw movies, and I was racking my brain because I'm like, I know this is somewhat based off of a true story. Thinking to myself, I know the movies have been sensationalized, but there's definitely a name behind this. So I did some research. Completely forgot about Ed Gein. This guy was the original inspiration behind Leatherface because of the things he did, and specifically the things he made. For something like 17 years, he was exhuming bodies. He was also making people disappear, if you know what I mean? Creating these morbid and grotesque items, leather items, out of their skin. It's kind of eerie to think that his neighbors, people locally, they just didn't know who he was. He was just the isolated man who lived in an old house and stayed to himself. But if you do want more information on this, we're probably going to cover it in a Creep Time podcast.
You never know what somebody's capable of, man. Like I said, he was the guy who stayed to himself. And look what he was capable of, man.
Thanks to Warner Brothers for sponsoring this video. This October, the greatest villain of all time returns to theaters in Joker Folie à Deux. Joker Folie à Deux is a direct sequel to Joker, which is one of the greatest comic book movies of all time. But what made Joker different from the rest is that Joaquin Phoenix didn't just play the Joker, he became the Joker. Phoenix lost over 52 pounds for the role. He isolated himself during the preparation process, and even improvised intense scenes like smashing the clock and his haunting dance scene in the bathroom. Phoenix went through an intense physical and psychological transformation to become the Joker, and it paid off, becoming the first R-rated movie to cross $1 billion at the box office. And luckily, the iconic character is returning to the big screen for Joker Folie à Deux, with Phoenix reprising his role as Arthur Fleck, and Lady Gaga taking on the role of Harley Quinn. This sequel dives even deeper into the mind of Joker and explores more of the dark, grounded Gotham universe that we want to see. And you can grab tickets now for Joker Folie à Deux, which hits theaters October 4th.
The goofiest serial...
Also, I had to stop there. Anybody guys see Joker Folie à Deux, man, we know that I heard it wasn't it, man, that people did not like it, and the ending was that, let's just say it was bad. That's what I heard. I don't know. Tell me down below if you guys actually seen it. I would have checked that out.
Serial killer nicknames. This is Cayetano Santos Godinho, the teenage Argentinian serial killer. By the age of 16, he committed 4 murders, 5 arsons, 11 assaults, 1 attempted kidnapping, and the murder of 3 animals. He was also once jailed for chronic self-pleasuring, which was illegal at the time. This monster from Argentina was appropriately nicknamed the Big-Eared Midget.
The Big-Eared Midget? What the type of name is that?
These animals were recently discovered, and the last one is unbelievable. This first one is a wolf monk, and they're highly aggressive, and they eat everything. This is a crowilla. These are super intelligent creatures who swoop down and steal your food, but they write a thank you card after. This is a louse, and these creatures are found all over the world. They wait for you to go to sleep, and they hide under your bed, then they come out and bite your toes. This is a raniwi. These are super fast creatures with the temper of a honey badger. This is the catfin, and these are some of the most dangerous new creatures ever found. They swim through the water fast like torpedoes, but they are known to knock everything off boats. The candy is a much safer option though, although they're kind of messy on both ends, kind of like leaving little landmines everywhere. This is a dogster, and they're one of the safest to be around. And even though that boy thick, they don't eat that much food. The Moncola is highly vicious though. They sleep most of the day, but if you wake them up, they throw buckets of poo at you. This is a squinky, and they're to be avoided at all costs. If they see you walking with food, they come and steal your food and then wait. And if you're still there, they eat you next. The Chisner is the next white meat. They're said to taste like chicken. And the Pingo is a new favorite pet by some people. They are so friendly to the point that they annoy you to where you want to punch them.
Whatever you do not feel bad for this woman. This woman's name is Lovely Kristen Antoinette Johnson, and she had a 6-month-old baby. But one more thing is, she was a severe drug addict, and she would often invite friends over to her house or go to her friends' houses to do drugs. And when she would do this, she would just lock her son up in a car seat and leave him inside the house. And she would place him in the attic where she wouldn't be able to hear him. Well, on this particular occasion, the little baby went 4 days without any food and starved to death. Apparently, the baby had diaper rash so severe his skin was literally falling off. When she found the baby, his body was already decomposing, and she still took him to the ER and got arrested there. And she was sentenced to 20 to 80 years in prison for the murder of her baby.
Thanks, man. He takes.
Accidentally knocking on the wrong door and then being murdered because of it. Well, that's what happened to 56-year-old Maria Cotto after visiting a client at an apartment building in Westchester. Maria was a caseworker for the county's Department of Social Services and was conducting home visits when she accidentally knocked on 31-year-old Hasim Jenkins' front door. When he answered the door, instead of directing Maria to the correct apartment, he punched her in the face. Maria tried running from him, but he chased her into a neighbor's apartment and he continued to kick her in the head with a pair of heavy boots. Somehow, while this was all going on, she managed to call 911, but when police arrived, Hasim claimed that Maria tried to stab him and that's why he beat her. But that never happened. She only knocked on his door because she thought that was her client's home. This poor lady suffered severe brain bleeding, brain swelling, and multiple facial fractures. She was placed on a ventilator, but unfortunately, she passed away a month later. When Hasim was arrested, Maria's phone was found in his pocket, and now he's facing a long list of charges, including second-degree murder. And something her family said, which is so sad, is that this all happened the year before Maria planned to retire.
If you ever feel like someone's watching you, they probably are. This, my friends, is the Dark Watchers. Click the plus, drop a like, tag a friend, or they might find you. It is said that the Dark Watchers' faces have never been seen before. They make no noise and have never talked to anybody. But as soon as they have you in their sights, you're done for. My question to you guys is, would you still go outside?
The Dark Watchers? Hell no. I'm more vigilant.
This incestuous family took the lives of over 1,000 people. This is the true story of Wrong Turn. In the 16th century, a man named Sawney Bean decided to run away with his girlfriend to the shores of Galloway County in Scotland, where he began living in a cave, surviving by stealing food and belongings from passing tourists. Sawney Bean and his wife had children with whom they committed incest. This family began to grow, as they all had relationships with each other. Sawney Bean's clan grew to 48 people, and what they stole was no longer enough to eat. The Bean family began to take the lives of people who passed near their cave, and then eat them. For 25 years, this family survived doing this savage activity, until one day a couple was attacked by the Bean family, but the man managed to defend himself with a gun, but his wife did not survive. The man had discovered the cave of the Bean clan, so he decided to report it to the authorities. After that, the soldiers of the King of Scotland went to the cave where they captured the whole family, and then they were condemned to be burned at the stake.
Russ McKamey from
Discuss the
McKamey
story.
Manor, one of America's most infamous haunted house attractions, was just arrested. So if you don't know Russ McKamey, this is a long, dark rabbit hole. Basically,
Talk
he
about
runs
it.
an attraction called McKamey Manor. This is run on his property, out of his house, and it has been billed as the most extreme horror experience you could possibly put yourself through. Basically, when you sign up for this, you sign your life away. Inside of this attraction, where you go on your own personal tour, they abuse people, they subject them to horrific mental torture, they force them to eat things, injure them, and do all sorts of just horrific stuff.
Not for me.
So for years, people have been questioning how this whole thing is legal, because it really does sit on the very edge of what's legal and what's illegal when it comes to physical abuse and harm. But just a few days ago, Russ McKamey, the guy that owns and operates this place, was arrested. But it wasn't for charges based on his haunted house attraction.
Whoa.
He has actually been charged with second-degree attempted murder, rape, and domestic assault. These charges are coming from Russ's ex-girlfriend, who's claiming that he tried to kill her on multiple occasions. And the arrest affidavit even states that at one point Russ allegedly strangled her out of consciousness. And on Friday, July 19th, the police said that Russ had raped his girlfriend and strangled her again, which would be the second time that he did so. So we're going to see how this case plays out. I will keep y'all updated. But this is shocking news. I mean, I've followed this story for almost 10 years now. I've always thought what he was doing was extremely bizarre and disturbing, especially the fact that he films all of these tortures, these legal tortures, and sells them to people online, which is just an even more disturbing element to me, that there are people out there that purchase this stuff and probably get off on it. But yeah, what do you think about McKamey Manor? Let me know in the comments section below.
They need to shut that place down, bro. I don't sound like a freaking haunted house. That just sounds like a damn torture chamber. And he's selling those videos online to make them profit. The signs are all right there. Just have to pay attention. Edit. Call them when we see it.
Creepiest home camera footage. In 2017, a mother in Billings, Montana woke up in the middle of the night to a notification on her phone. Her phone was sent to a baby monitor she had set up in her infant daughter's room. On this night, upon being alerted, she opened the app expecting to see her daughter awake in the crib. But instead she saw this. A man she didn't know is seen crouched down in the room. She saw this and ran to the room to retrieve her daughter and run out the house. She didn't see anyone in the room, but wasn't exactly looking. When she called the cops, they arrived and conducted a search of the home, but didn't find anything. A very odd detail is that it was found that nothing but the remote to a dog shock collar was stolen from the house. Who this man is and how he got in the house is still unknown.
So someone was
This
definitely
is a
there.
scary story about the mistake. A girl named Kelly was on a business trip for 3 days, and she was so excited to see her husband and kid. But when she got home, the only one that was waiting for her was her kid. Kelly then asked, "Where's Daddy?" and her kid then said, "Upstairs with a girl." Kelly immediately got a pit in her stomach and walked up the stairs slowly, and then opened their bedroom door and saw her husband in there with another girl. Kelly started to scream and cry, and her husband tried to explain himself. But Kelly wasn't listening at all. And in a pit of rage, Kelly went down to the kitchen and grabbed a knife.
Oh,
She
crap.
then went back into the room and stabbed her husband countless times. The other woman in the room was shocked and completely lost for words. Kelly then pointed the knife at her and said, "You're next." But then the woman said, "Wait, he wasn't cheating on you. He thought you weren't going to be home till tomorrow, and I'm a party planner. And he hired me to set up and throw a party for you." The woman then showed Kelly the idea her husband had. Kelly then dropped the knife and couldn't believe what she just did. Kelly then went downstairs, grabbed her kid, and left. And to this day, nobody has ever seen Kelly or her kid again.
Scary
Is that a
facts
true
you'll
story?
think about at night. Horned
Scary.
lizards squirt blood from their eyes. The Devil's Bible is a real book. If the sun exploded, you would not know about it for 8 minutes.
Wow.
20% of children report hearing voices.
Scary facts you wish you knew.
Okay.
There's a shack called the Devil's Toy Box in Louisiana, and for some reason, people who go in lose their minds. You know the tingly feeling you get when you eat a pineapple? Well, that's because the pineapple is eating you. It has an enzyme called bromelain, and that enzyme eats meat, which you're made of. I'm gonna stick to watermelon. No one
What?
can comment on this video and get 0 likes. Sharks have been around for 420 million years, meaning they have survived all 4 big mass extinctions, making them older than dinosaurs, Mount Everest, and even some trees on this planet. Yet we could potentially see them go extinct in our lifetime. The person who invented homework came up with the idea as a punishment for his students. Now you can check if your phone activity is being monitored. Just click on share, slide all the way to the end, click more, and if any apps appear before your contacts, you should delete it immediately. This is a photo of Lyndon B. Johnson. In it, he's being sworn as president, just 2 hours after JFK was unalived. And the woman he's standing next to is Jackie Kennedy, who still had her husband's blood on her shirt. Lyndon B. Johnson turned to his friend, Albert Thompson, while Albert smirked and winked back. The photographer who captured the picture called the photo completely sinister. Doja Cat scares me. Studies show that people who like and follow me get smarter every day.
That thing with bromine, man, about eating pineapples, I knew like a couple of y'all had that feeling, you know, when you eat pineapples, you feel something on your tongue. I was like, I've always wanted to know, like, why did that happen after eating a couple pieces of pineapple? And we know the pineapple was eating me back, bro. Learned some wild facts today, man.
Things that bother you, they never bother me. Haven't got a lot, I don't need a lot. Coffee's only a dime.
Oh, some stuff from back now, back in the day.
Probably didn't know about.
Oh, what the hell? Is that a skinwalker or something? We definitely heard that. no damn dog. Okay. That one might be netted. I'm gonna have to go cap on that last one.
Creepiest things found in movie backgrounds. In the movie It, when Ben is reading about Derry's past in the library, the elder librarian can be seen in the background turning towards him and staring at him with a deeply unsettling grin. She remains out of focus the whole time, and the movie never highlights her creepy behavior. In the movie Hereditary, when Peter wakes up in the darkened and eerily silent house, you can spot his possessed mom hovering in the corner of the ceiling and staring at him. When he turns towards the corner she is at, she is then seen crawling away in the other direction without making a sound. In the movie Insidious, Renee spots a little ghost boy through the window dancing to Tiptoe Through the Tulips. But the ghost can actually be seen before Renee spots him dancing. Right in this scene when she tosses clothes in the laundry hamper, you can see the boy standing just to her left and facing the wall.
You watched Longlegs, but you didn't quite get it. Let me help you. The movie centers entirely around the Book of Revelation, also known as the Book of the Apocalypse. And throughout the movie, Micah Monroe's character repeats a chapter of the book. The dragon stood on the shore of the sea, and I saw a beast coming out of the sea. It had 10 horns and 7 heads, with 10 crowns on its horns, and on each head a blasphemous name. The Unholy Trinity is made up of 3 main characters: the dragon, the beast of the sea, and the beast of the earth. This makes up a triangle, which we see Harker draw in the film, but also in the Book of Revelation, we learn that the devil's number is 666, which is why the birthday unalivings happen within 6 days of the kids' birthdays. The dragon, also known as the serpent, is Satan, and this is why we see flashes of snakes throughout the film. The beast of the sea is also known as the Antichrist, which is Longlegs. The beast of the earth is also known as the false prophet, which is Harker's mom. The Antichrist needed help from the false prophet to spread his message, which is what we see in the movie where Longlegs needed Ruth's help to spread the message. In the Book of Revelation, it states that the false prophet is allowed to give breath to the image of the beast being the dolls. And the quote continues to say, so that the image of the beast can even speak and might cause those who would not worship the image of the beast to be slain. This is why the dolls have the little silver ball in their head, because it holds parts of the Antichrist in them, and the dolls and the ball are able to speak to the families. And if they didn't worship the beast, then they'd be... Since we learned that Harker's doll is still alive and holding the Antichrist in it, this is why Harker has somewhat of that sixth sense throughout the film when she's being drawn to Longlegs, and why she hears like whispering throughout the movie, because it's still able to speak to her. And at the end of the movie, we see that Harker didn't get rid of the image of the beast, so we can just assume that the Antichrist is still somewhat alive and well, and at the end, maybe this is setting up a possible sequel.
Top 5 countries with the longest school days. Australia, 6.5 hours. France, 8 hours. South Korea, 8 hours. Kenya, 8 hours. China, 9.5 hours.
Could you guys imagine, man, being in school for 9.5 hours, bro? I remember when I was complaining about the freaking my school hours, man, but I couldn't survive 9.5 hours in school, bro. I couldn't.
Last words of Satanists before dying. Aleister Crowley. I am perplexed. Anton Lavey. Oh my, what have I done? There is something very wrong. David Hume. I am in flames. Voltaire. I am abandoned by God and man. I will give you half of what I am worth if you give me 6 months of life. Sir Francis Newport. Oh, that fire. Oh, the insufferable pangs of hell. Thomas Paine. Stay with me, for God's sake. I can't bear to be left alone. Oh, Lord, help me.
Ooh.
This is a scary story about Do Not Open.
Creepy last
There was an
words.
18-year-old girl named Mia who was in her first year at college. She lived alone in an apartment near her university. One night when she was doing the dishes, she got a call from her friend Pete. She picked it up and he said, "I'm bored, I want to hang out." Mia said, "Yeah, me too, come over." Pete then said he'll be over in 15 to 20 minutes. She then hung up and decided to take a shower. Mia was in the middle of shampooing her hair when she suddenly heard a loud banging on the door. She stuck her head out of the shower and said, "Come in, it's open." But a few minutes later, the banging on the door started again. She then stuck her head out of the shower again and said, "Come in, it's not locked." Just then, her phone started to ring, and it was Peter. Mia said, "I'm in the shower, why don't you stop knocking and just come in?" Peter's voice sounded extremely scared, and he said, "Do not open the door." Mia said, "Why not?" "I'm outside your apartment building," whispered Peter. "And I just saw a strange woman coming up the stairs to your apartment covered in blood and holding a knife. And she was smiling weirdly and didn't look human at all."
The term "saved by the bell" is a harmless way to describe that you barely made it through a situation. Let's talk about the terrifying history of the term "saved by the bell." Epilepsy is a medical condition where an individual experiences an uncontrolled amount of muscle rigidity and unresponsiveness. What's terrifying is family members would think that their loved one had passed and put them in a coffin, however, they were still very much alive. After having multiple people buried alive, they invented a casket where a bell was hooked on the inside of it. Once the individual who was buried in a coffin snapped out of their coma-like state, they could ring the bell and pray that someone was nearby to hear them.
Saved by the Bell. Now, we've heard that before.
Top 5 countries with the most civilian firearms. By estimated number in possession. Russia 17.6 million. Pakistan 43.9 million. China 49.7 million. India 71.1 million. United States 393.3 million.
Serial
big
killer
number.
facts that are absolutely shocking. BT.3. In the John Wayne Gacy case, there were so many bodies crammed underneath the house that the bodies melted together, and the bones had to be sorted for more than 2 years to put together the full skeletons. Pee Wee Gaskins, the most prolific serial killer in South Carolina, drove around in a hearse with a bumper sticker that read, "I hold dead people." He told people that he needed it to take the bodies of people he killed to his private cemetery. Jeffrey Dahmer didn't eat people with tattoos because he said the ink made the flesh taste weird.
Weird facts, man. First one was chilling, bro. If you can melt it together, man. Whew.
The most dangerous dates in 2024.
Talk about it.
Rainbow sky, January 6th. Very cold day, negative 99 degrees,
Damn.
January 17th. Huge moon, January 29th. Blue moon, February 11th.
Okay.
Red yellow moon, February 25th. Lunar eclipse, March 10th. Spring thunderstorm, March 22nd. Starfall, April 5th. Bloody rain, April 16th. Star rain, May 4th. Blood moon, May 14th. Super moon, May 26th. Abnormal heat, 45 degrees, June 7th. Severe thunderstorm, June 15th. Shower from June 19th to June 22nd. Yellow moon, June 29th. Terrible thunderstorm, July 3rd. Severe thunderstorm with hail on July 11th.
Just natural disasters?
This horror game used your webcam and social media profiles in order to create your own personal horror, but it no longer exists. Let's talk about Asylum 626.
Okay.
More obscure horror games right here. Asylum 626 is the sequel to Hotel 626, and this one is even more ambitious. And yes, this was also a game to promote 2 new Doritos flavors that they were bringing back. Before playing, the game actually has you log into your Facebook profile, and it uses it in a pretty interesting way. The game will show you an image of 2 people tied up with 2 photos next to each person. And each of these photos are pictures of your friends from your Facebook profile. You basically have to choose which friend gets tortured in the asylum. There's also a jump scare scene where you have to look deep in a dirty sink, and it will actually show your webcam image as the reflection in the water. The game would also make an actual post on your Facebook page alerting which friend you chose to be tortured in the asylum. It was actually pretty interesting. It's really a shame we can't play Hotel 626 or Asylum 626 anymore. Let's talk about the...
What the hell happened to those games, man? Why did they just suddenly disappear off the net? And everyone used to promote Doritos. Very weird, man.
Lore behind a disturbing god from fear and hunger, the Tormented One. More unique horror games right here. Before he was one of the new gods, the Tormented One used to be a man. In fact, he was a poet who had a great reverence for the arts. However, he believed that truly beautiful art could only be created through pain and suffering, and he kept those same ideals when he completed his journey to become a god. He kept his body in a state of constant torture on purpose. However, he did not only apply these ideals to himself. This is the Red Man, and he's an example of a creature that was tortured by the Tormented One for over 100 years straight. In-game, he's barely able to crawl towards you by the time you see him. Quick fact, the rings you see around the Tormented One are actually based on some rings that you see in the final boss room of Silent Hill 4.
Horses are much bigger than people, so naturally they just have a lot more blood than we do. So whenever horses get nosebleeds, it ends up looking like a whole crime scene. So one of the only reasons we know how many people died in the Titanic are the shoes that are laying on the ocean floor. Some are pretty cool, others are kind of depressing. And the reason we count the shoes instead of, bones is because when the Titanic hit the floor, all the corpses kind of just scattered and the fish ate the corpses, but the fish couldn't eat the shoes. If you ever decide to go climb Mount Everest, I hope that you remember that the crevices in the ice are V-shaped, which means if you were to ever accidentally fall down one, you more than likely wouldn't die instantly. Your body heat would melt the ice around you, causing you to slip further and further down until your chest couldn't expand enough to breathe. So make sure you bring a friend just as crazy as you to help get you out.
If the bone of the leg breaks and shatters completely, here's how doctors fix it. Let's find out. First, the person is anesthetized to prevent pain. The doctor makes an incision over the leg at the location of the break, then extracts the entire bone. Holes are made above the knee and on the side of the leg, and then an intramedullary rod is inserted between the bones in such a manner. Subsequently, this intramedullary rod is fixed with metal in a way that it does not move. Afterward, a hole is made above the bone and a wire is threaded through it. Then a tourniquet circular friction lathe machine is attached over the leg, and these wires are connected to it. This machine has two bolts on the sides, which function like buttons. When these are turned, the machine starts to separate the bones. Thus, bones that had been misaligned and entangled due to the injury are separated and straightened with the help of this machine. And within a few days, the bone starts to heal.
Weird process, man. I can't even imagine having to go through that. Rod in your leg.
This is insane. The big Texan. These are scary cartoon truths that would terrify you.
Texan?
Part 10. Okay, so Hello Kitty was created back in the 1970s by a Chinese woman whose daughter had cancer. The doctors told the mother there was nothing she could do, and her daughter will die. The mother then went to every church and prayed for her daughter, but none of it worked. The mother then became very desperate and turned to devil worshipping and satanic rituals. She then made a pact with the devil himself. But if the devil cured her daughter's cancer, he wanted one thing in return. He wanted her to create a cartoon character to appeal to children all over the world and to trick people into worshipping the devil. And when her daughter recovered from cancer, she kept her promise and created Hello Kitty. Hello Kitty is no mouth because her daughter had mouth cancer. Her pointy ears represent the devil's horns. The word kitty means demon in Chinese, so Hello Kitty actually means hello demon.
The more you know, man. She made a deal with the devil.
Strange insectoid creatures were scattered across large segments of Chicago's oldest sewer system. They were forming true nests of creatures that had never seen the light of day, feeding on waste, moisture, and in ways that have not been possible to determine.
Is this an edit, y'all? I think we're gonna have to go with edit. Cause we definitely would have seen something, right? Heard about it.
The following records revealed the presence of hyperdeveloped creatures inhabiting the tunnels. Contact with these creatures was mostly through probes with cameras, although on some occasions.
Nangtani was once a living woman who experienced a tragic fate near a banana tree, often due to dying during childbirth. This unfortunate event bound her spirit to the banana tree, leading to her transformation into a ghostly entity. Nangtani's appearance is both enchanting and haunting. She is portrayed as a beautiful woman, dressed in traditional Thai attire, with long flowing hair. Yet, her true nature is revealed by her greenish complexion and the eerie fact that she hovers slightly above the ground, rather than walking like a living person. This ghostly apparition emerges during the nighttime, particularly on moonlit nights. She is believed to wander near banana groves, emitting unsettling sounds that mimic the rustling of banana leaves, or even the sound of a crying baby. These mysterious and unsettling noises are said to send shivers down the spines of those who hear them.
Have you ever heard of the Thai urban legend of Nangtani? Nangtani was once a young woman who tragically lost her life during childbirth. Following her untimely death, her spirit became bound to a banana tree, transforming her into a ghostly presence that continues to haunt certain areas of Thailand. Described as a beautiful and enchanting figure, Nangtani appears dressed in traditional Thai attire, adorned with jewelry and radiating an otherworldly aura. Her ethereal appearance masks her vengeful nature as she seeks to maintain a connection with the mortal realm. Nangtani is most active during the night when she detaches herself from the banana tree and floats through the air. She often chooses to appear near banana plantations or rural areas where the trees grow abundantly. With her seductive charm, she entices unsuspecting passerby, drawing them closer with her allure. Encountering Nangtani can have dire consequences. Some accounts tell of people falling under her spell, unable to resist her beauty, and becoming entranced by her presence. Those who succumb to her charms may face illness, misfortune, or even death. Others believe that encountering her can lead to a string of bad luck that follows them throughout their lives. To protect themselves from the haunting presence of Nangtani, locals adhere to various precautions. They may avoid traversing banana plantations after dark or carry protective amulets and charms. It is also believed that tying a red or white string around a banana tree can serve as a deterrent, warding off Nangtani's influence.
Okay, but that not around a banana tree, man.
Have you ever heard of the Thai ghost story of Maynak? Maynak is a haunting and captivating Thai ghost story that has captured the imagination of generations. The legend unfolds during a period of war and centers around the love between Mak and Nak, a devoted couple facing separation due to Mak's military service. Nak becomes pregnant in Mak's absence, but tragically, she dies during childbirth. However, Nak's love for her family is so profound that her spirit remains tethered to the earthly realm. When Mak returns home, he is overjoyed to be reunited with Nak, seemingly unaware of her supernatural state. Despite the warnings of neighbors, who recognize Nak's spectral nature, Mak persists in living with her. Eerie occurrences begin to disturb their seemingly idyllic life, prompting Mak to eventually uncover the truth of Nak's death and her ghostly existence. Fearing for his safety and that of their child, Mak seeks the assistance of an exorcist. With the exorcist's guidance, Mak and a group of villagers perform a ritual to capture Nak's vengeful spirit. The ritual succeeds, containing Nak within a pot. To ensure her spirit remains in prison, the pot is submerged in a canal. The story of Maynak delves into the themes of love, loyalty, and the supernatural. It has been a wellspring of inspiration for Thai literature, cinema, and other forms of artistic expression. This timeless tale speaks to the enduring power of love and the lengths to which individuals will go to protect their loved ones, even in the face of death and the unknown.
So my man, he was living with the whole ghost, man. I had to call an exorcist and say, no more, bro. Wow. Interesting story. Is that like Thailand's like first exorcist?
Phi Lang Kluang, the hollow-backed ghost. Phi Lang Kluang are ghosts in the south of Thailand. These spirits are said to be particularly prevalent in the southern regions of Thailand, where they are believed to reside near waterfalls and in cool, secluded places. These supernatural beings are known for their distinctive and unsettling characteristic, a hollow or gaping wound that runs through their bodies. When they initially interact with humans, Phi Lang Kluang may appear normal. However, their true nature is revealed when they ask someone to scratch their back. Upon doing so, the shocking sight of a hollow wound filled with maggots, worms, and millipedes becomes apparent.
Did you know that the Naga is a serpentine dragon-like creature often depicted with multiple heads? Nagas are believed to be protectors of water sources and are commonly found in Anti-temples and religious art.
Global Tales of Terror, Kumanthong. In this series, we will explore some of the most spine-chilling and hair-raising urban legends from around the globe. From the Japanese Kukusekana to the Mexican La Llorona, we will delve into the origins of these legends and the stories that have made them so terrifying.
Okay.
So sit back, relax, and get ready to be scared out of your wits.
I don't think I can relax.
And today's story is about Kumanthong. Kumanthong is a household divinity of Thai folk religion. It is believed to bring luck and fortune to the owner if properly revered. Kuman, or Kamara, means sanctified young boy, female Kamari. Thang means golden. The origin of making Kumanthong seems to be found in the folk legend Kunchang Kunfain, which is based on the life of a soldier in the Ayutthaya era. The story goes that Kunfain, a high-ranking soldier close to the king, earns the favor of a powerful sorcerer. The sorcerer takes such a liking to Kunfain that he offers his daughter in marriage. Kunfain discovers that his wife has been commanded by her father to poison him, and in a vengeful rage, Kunfain cuts his own child out of his wife. With the bloody fetus in hand, Kunfain performs black magic rituals on it to bring it to life. I'm interested in hearing about the urban legends that keep you up at night. Let me know where you're from in the comments below. I may share the next one from your country.
What's happening with the kid?
This is going to be the last of my Thai ghost series. If you're scared of ghosts, I would suggest you scroll away from this one. Today we're going to talk about Pi Tai Hong. These are the spirits of people that have suffered a violent or cruel death. Thais believe in reincarnation, but Pi Tai Hong died so abruptly and so violently that they weren't ready to leave. Their spirit stays in constant state of anger and turmoil, and they're not ready to be reborn. They're vengeful, they're restless, and many times they're looking for someone to take their place. I know the story of a man who was driving to see his friend one night. There were very few cars and lights on the road ahead of him. As he was driving, his headlights caught a figure in the middle of the road. What is that? He couldn't tell, but as he drove closer, he realized that it was a woman standing on the road in front of him. He flashed his headlights, but she would not move. She stood there in the middle of the road, just staring at him. His car kept getting closer and closer and closer, and he really didn't know what to do. He flashed his headlights again, and she still wouldn't move. He got even closer, and at the very last minute, he decided to swerve and go around her. As he drove off, he saw her still standing in the middle of the road. He turned the corner and got to his friend's house. He then told his friend about the woman that he saw in the middle of the road. "It's a good thing you swerved," his friend said. "There was a woman that died there a few weeks ago in a horrible, horrible accident. People say she's just waiting for someone else to die there and take her place."
Damn, okay. Some chilling ghost stories.
A bit of a horror story from living in Thailand, right? So, I don't recommend doing this, but night out, one of my friends was on a couple of years ago. Basically decided to get on the Charlie. Got a nice little bag. Got it delivered from outside, from one of the brothers. Basically went back in the pub. Came back out of the pub. Not too long after, police were waiting for him. Knew who he was. Knew what he had. Game over. Took him down to the police station. Obviously then the negotiation carried on. What you've got there is a possible fine of quite a substantial amount of money. So this fine was initially started at 200,000 baht. Obviously it didn't have 200k. So it led to a bit of problems. Had to call my old boss down, who basically bailed him out and managed to get the fine down to 100k, which he had in cash out of the bank. So moral of the story is, don't do it. If you are gonna, careful where you buy it from. Yeah, so in the end ended up with 100,000 baht debt to the boss, or he would have been in jail for a long, long time.
What was he doing, bro? And that has to be one of the nicest boss I've ever heard, man. Bailing out your workers for like 100k. Because you know, man, anywhere else, that ain't happening. Ring ring. Hello, boss. I'm in jail. How much they need? How much is your bail? 100K. Click. I don't know what the hell he was doing in Thailand, but I won't be doing that. You must have been doing something.
Hey, what's up? I want to share a travel story with you that I experienced 4 years ago as an 18-year-old, fresh out of high school, little baby 18-year-old, where I backpacked Thailand with two of my best friends. So this story takes place on the dark streets of Bangkok at night as a very drunk 18-year-old. Before I start, I hate Bangkok. I will never go back there, and this story will probably explain why. Okay, so before I start the story, I want to say always trust your gut, especially when traveling, and try and imagine yourself as an 18-year-old in this scenario, this situation, and see what you would do. So it's our third day in the country, and we wanted to go clubbing. We'd never gone before. We were set out to do it, and that's what we did. So nighttime comes, and we're looking for a taxi to take us to this giant club. And we end up bargaining with a taxi driver, and he gives us an insane price, like way too good of a price. So it's a 40-minute cab ride from Koh San Road. If you know, you know. And in the cab ride, I started to get a bad gut feeling. I was like, this just feels off. So I went on my phone and I searched up Google Maps to the club to just see if we were on the right track, which we were at the time, but I still felt weird. Shortly after that, he took us to a alleyway. Like this alleyway, it looked like a New York City big alleyway, smelled like shit, like the place where like Batman's parents got murked, like some shit like that. So he kicks us out of the cab and demands 2,000 baht. We're like, dude, what's going on here? What do you mean? And then from the corner of my eye, I see like 3 big Thai dudes. Now, Thai people are typically smaller, so these dudes were clearly over 6 feet. They're big and they had tattoos. I was like, oh shit, and I was like, sprint, run, and we run out of the alleyway, and we're obviously very shaken up at this point. We're like, holy fuck, I can't believe that just happened. So we realize we're about 40 minutes away from Koh San Road and about 15 minutes walking to the club, and we are in downtown Bangkok. I don't know where this was. So as some drunk 18-year-olds jacked up on adrenaline at this point, we're like, let's just walk to the club. We'll get there sooner. So that's what we do. And about a block away from the club, around the corner, 2 stern-looking policemen in uniform come up to us and they start yelling at us, like voice raised, yelling at us, but they don't speak a word of English. So we're like, I don't know what they're saying, I don't know what's going on. So we just put our hands up, and we're like visibly shaking at this point. We're like, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening. And they start motioning at us in our pockets to like take our wallets and our phones out. We put them on the ground. Again, we're still like, holy fuck. And in my head at this point, I'm thinking, I almost just got abducted, and now I'm going to Thai prison.
Bad luck.
So they start searching through our wallets. I'm sure they were looking for like baggies of like cocaine or pills or something, which we had none of that on us. And then after, they miraculously motion us like pick our stuff up and keep walking, and that's exactly what we do. And we keep walking for another block or so, didn't say a word to each other, just complete silence. Like imagine 3 kids on a sidewalk, complete silence, just so shaken up with what's just happened. So we end up getting to the club, we get in line, we wait in line, and then we get to the front of the club where they ID us and they don't even let us in. So we did all of that and we didn't even get let in. We ended up paying full price for a taxi to take us back to Koh San Road, and it was a silent ride home. But this story does have a little bit of a happy ending. We ended up meeting our travel buddy for the rest of our trip that very same night, and the rest of the night went smooth. But I say this story to say, trust your gut, especially when traveling. Like almost off rip, I just felt weird. And this was definitely an adrenaline-filled life lesson for a 18-year-old kid with 0 real-world experience. I mean, this was our 3rd day in the country. So, yeah, do with this information what you will, and yeah, have fun. Oh, I would still say go traveling. Like, this was one of the best learning experiences of my life, and that trip was...
Okay, man. That's like 2 stories back to back.
Chick here. Take a look at this interesting video. This was recorded by Damien Ming. He was out mountain biking with a friend in Thailand, in a resort town in Thailand. Normal outing, nothing unusual, until the end when they capture, initially they hear what sounds like a woman screaming. And as they continue recording, they realize they recorded something else, something outworldly, something
Cryptid. What the hell is that? I gotta do my research, man.
Spirits in Thailand. P.am is a ghost who is said to sit on the chest of people while they are sleeping. If you ever suffered from sleep paralysis, like me, it is said to be caused by this ghost. P.am is said to only attack men and not women. Sexy. So to avoid them, the men would need to put on lipstick before going to bed. This would trick the spirit into thinking you're a woman and it will not dare to sit on your chest.
Fun lipstick balm, man, to confuse the demons. First time hearing about that. Seekers, if you guys made it with me to the end of the video, you're a true seeker seeking the truth. I greatly appreciate the support. Make sure you guys leave a thumbs up in this video. Comment down below if you guys learned anything new. Also, don't forget to hit that post notification bell so you'll always get notified when I upload my next videos. You guys are going to catch me in the next one, man. I'm out. Peace, YouTube.